not free and fair. It's a corrupt machinery. We have seen that the corrupt regime has been on a path of decline. At one point they were at 70-something, then they came to 60-something, now they're at 51. Yeah? So these ZANU-PF results basically tells you that if the corrupt regime doesn't have 2 MPs, yeah, or 3 members of parliament, they have to constantly be there. They will not even be able to have a simple majority. This is a regime that is declining. They used to be in the 80s, in the 60s. Now all of them, and I think the person who's allegedly won the president is what? It's 51? What's the percentage?
57, I think.
Yeah? Journalists, you're not aware of this?
Yeah.
She apparently is at what? Yeah, so the regime is declining. Even in a rigged election, even in an election that they've stolen, even in the election that has been run and supervised by ZANU-PF, the regime is declining. Previously they lost about 14, now they lost 12, and they are declining. You understand why they needed to rig the election. You understand why, because even when they rigged the election, they couldn't even have come up with a believable number, because it was also very difficult. How do you then explain an election that is run by foreigners? That's why we are concerned as nationalists. The ER movement, as you know, we are a radical movement with a political party license. You must understand there's a difference. We are not a political party. So you always, journalists, why are you not joining other opposition? We are not opposition. Even that term that is used, we are not opposition. We are a radical force of our people, and we are concerned. We are concerned. It tells us that all of us, regardless of your background, whether you're in media or whatever journalist you are, we need to be able to detect these people. We need to be able to fight these people. We need to be able to defeat these people, because this is a fundamental problem that we have. So of course we are not happy, and people are rejoicing and congratulating and saying sort of things that you could see what is basically happening here is a rehearsal. Journalists couldn't even ask questions. What type of country are we living in that journalists can't even ask questions to this commission? The fundamental question that we must ask, are we going to a next election with this type of people? Are we going to live in a country governed by this type of people? When you can see that all of them are neighbors. Even when they are doing those acceptance speeches, you can see that the person is not convinced that they've won an election. So it's a big problem. It is important, because once we stay away, these type of people, they must see that there are people who are here, looking at them face to face, indicating that they are not happy. So we needed to be here and speak to you in an ECN building. It doesn't belong to them. It belongs to us as Namibians. Because if we stay away, it basically means that we would have created an impression that we are surrendering all our institutions. So we are here to fight and demonstrate symbolically and actually that we don't agree, and our institutions do not belong to them. So for us, it's not, we know that there are people who are claiming that this and that, and you hear a lot of things. Our institutions are being overtaken. You saw, for example, NBC, for instance, but you saw that even the NBC interviewed Mubita, a candidate in the list in the top 10 or so, and they called him a political analyst. Yeah? A candidate who's participating in the election. So our institutions have been politicized, have been taken over by the corrupt regime. So we are not celebrating anything. We are here to tell you where we stand, and we're also here to communicate to you that we are going to fight. For us, it's not some other thing where people are now going to buy suits and do what. No. Yeah. So we stand that the elections are not free and fair, and we are considering our options as we've indicated. But it's even these results of theirs is a very interesting indictment. Not only that the regime have lost the moral high ground, the regime have lost the election to an extent that, because remember in parliament the simple majority that you need to have is 49. They surpass the simple majority, the 50+1, with 2, according to these ZANU-PF results that we obviously believe that these are not a proper result that are supposed to do that. So it is important for us to understand we must never ever surrender our institution, including the NBC. We must never ever surrender our institution to this corrupt regime. NBC doesn't belong to SWAPO. It belongs to us. New Era belongs to us. ECN belongs to us. All these institutions of state belong to us. So once we stay away, we create an impression to these people that it's their space, they can do whatever. That's why they can behave the way they are behaving. Yeah. So when we came here, there were some guys from protocol, and they were saying, yeah, we are waiting for who to sit, and say, nonsense, you are not talking to us here. This is our building also as Namibians. We told them we're not going to move. So it's very important. We're just trying to explain your question when you ask why are we here. We should be here because it doesn't belong to them. We are not going to surrender to anybody in this country. We are going to continue to fight every space that we get in our country. We are going to continue to fight. We are not celebrating. We are not buying suits.
So, Professor, what's the fight going to be?
What is the fight?
And you say you are not opposition.
Who is speaking now?
Support,
Hold on. One person at a time. We will answer. We are capable of answering